You can go right from there. You know them, you love them. Seems like I did this before. Formed in Las Vegas, Nevada by lead vocalist Mark Slaughter, bassist Dana Strum, and we'll get to the other members in a minute. Band reached superstardom in 1990 with the first album, Stick It Up, Stick It To Ya.
Stick It Up. Yeah, we know what that's about.
Which spawned several hits like Up All Night, Spend My Life, Mad About You, Fly to the Angels. Double platinum album, which I will say that I really wanted on my wall, but I did not get one. To this day, the band remains a steady act on national tours. Slaughter came out of the ashes of Vinnie Vincent, I understand. He had defaulted on a $4 million contract, and they picked you guys up. Wikipedia.
Yeah,
Wikipedia.
right. Yeah.
So, original guitarist Tim Kelly, Los Elias.
Right.
Now, he's a blue man.
Right.
And we go on to the Wildlife, Fear No Evil, Revolution. Did I miss any?
No.
All right, 98, February 5th, tragedy. You guys lost Tim Kelly in an auto accident.
Yeah.
Was it Arizona desert? You hired...
Baghdad, Arizona.
You hired... Was it really Baghdad? So you guys hired Jeff Blondo as Kelly's replacement. I think Dave Marshall was in there too.
Yeah, he was too, but Jeff was touring with us already as our sound man at that time. He actually did sound for Warrant and for Slaughter.
Okay, so now you started working on a live album, Eternal Live, which featured some of Kelly's last performances.
Right.
And resurged with Back to Reality. That's what I've written. So now, we go way back.
Yeah.
Probably further than anybody I know in the music industry. Let's recap again. Who besides you and Dana are in Slaughter?
It's Jeff Blando. And it's Zoltan Chaney. Jeff obviously on guitar, Zoltan on drums.
Now, he is an amazing guy.
Yep.
I saw him play with Vince Neil, and I couldn't watch the show. I was Vince was sick anyway, so half the time he was off stage. But oh my God!
Yeah, he's great.
Where did you find this kid?
He's been around in our circles for a while. Jeff knew him from Florida, and I guess they played together, several times out in Florida. Hold him in, and it's been great.
Awesome. He's if you ever get a chance to see Zoltan Chaney play live, a drum clinic, a band, Slaughter, the guy is a show himself.
Yeah.
All right. Is it just as fun going out now in 1990?
I think it's just different. I mean, we still have a good time. We enjoy what we do, and I think that. A lot of bands, their music was written and produced by other people, and the fact that we wrote and produced our own music, I think it's a little closer to home for us because it's our music. So when we go out and play, it's a little bit more personal than it would be otherwise.
Right. So now, can you make a living at just touring alone, or do you guys have other endeavors?
No, that's what I do. I just tour. That's all I do.
So now, just a side note to Slaughter. Were you shocked to hear about the dead dog mishap with Vinnie?
Yeah, I was.
I mean, we don't even really know the full story.
I don't know the full story, and I don't know. I've not seen or really heard from Vinnie since 1988.
Wow.
Since we walked off the stage, never crossed paths, never saw him. Never got a message from him or anything. His wife reached out to me through some people, tried to talk to me before she passed away, but I didn't even.
That'd be Anne Marie?
Yeah, no, not Anne Marie. His last wife. That she died of alcoholism. I don't know.
He's living in Vegas too, I think.
I don't know where he's living. I don't know anything about him.
Thoughts on Vinnie overall?
Thoughts on Vinnie? Incredibly talented. I'm going to say the same thing that Gene would say, which is
that's where I was going.
Incredibly talented, but he's his own worst enemy. There you have it. So, he's a talented guy, and nobody can ever take that away from him.
Right.
I mean, that's the truth. And I still look back on those times of touring and stuff. I had a great time. It was a good. Some great lessons. Obviously, we had some fun back in the day. We drove around in your Mercedes and And I mean, it went to Atlantic City and everything else. But
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it was a good path to where we went with Slaughter, and you know, I think that Vinnie should make some music because it's been a lot of years.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that, but again, that's not for me to understand. Everybody, art hits you when it hits you.
We went to Cantor's on Fairfax, and he picked the check up. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, you guys toured on the Hot in the Shade tour with Kiss.
That's correct, 1990.
Come on, give me a good Kiss story.
Kiss story?
Unload, let's go.
You know what?
Make Gene proud.
I just, honestly, I never had, it was great with those guys. I mean, we had a really, really good time. It was a good time in our career, and they were wonderful people to tour with. It was fun. I had a really good time at that point. I don't have anything negative or crazy to say. We just all kind of went in, did our job as musicians, and Gene would get, we do our meet and greets sometimes, and they would be excessive. You know how we were, and especially in that time, we'd have meet and greets at 300 plus people, and he'd say, Shannon's coming, you need to keep it down and keep all the bimbos out of here. Of course, it was nuts, so that was good fun.
So, putting your fan hat on, have you seen the Kiss Def Leppard show this year?
I haven't seen the Kiss Def
Oh, you
Leppard
didn't see it?
show.
Have you seen the set list?
They came through Nashville. I went through the year before. I ran into Tommy when we were out doing this, and they called up and had passes waiting for us. Treated us right, and my kids and I, my two boys and I went to the show, and it was a lot of fun. And it's good times. Again, this is what I grew up on, and
yeah.
the soundtrack of my life, certainly.
Oddly enough, when you played Long Beach in 87 or 88 I was at, let me tell you, Vinnie had a spread back there. There was brie, fruit. I was this is a backstage?
Yeah, Lita Ford was there,
yeah.
Peter Criss was there, yeah.
And the guys from
Black and Blue. Which is Tommy.
I don't think Tommy was with them.
And Jamie St. James.
And I stood in line with Armored Saint and could not get in.
Oh, you're kidding.
Love those guys. And they're on the same label.
Yeah.
I couldn't get in.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, you brought Peter over to my car.
Yeah.
Out in the parking lot.
What a great guy.
Right. So
what's up, Doug? Yeah.
So can you string together the kind of dates you used to and do 8 months, or is it one-offs here and there?
No, what we do now is we do weekends. So, in the fact that we're not doing a touring bus tour, we just basically go out and do weekends. Like, we're doing a show here, and then we're going to be in, right outside Idaho Falls tomorrow. So it's it's a lot of traveling, not much sleep. But I'm home for the rest of the week, so it's nice because you can actually live a semi-normal life that way.
You're the weekend warrior.
Yeah, pretty much, and it works well.
So now you must love these M3s, Rocklahomas, Rock on the Range, and Monsters.
Yeah, all those things are great. Yeah, all those things are great.
Above the show, you get to meet everybody that you toured with.
Well, you know what? It's a good, how you been. It's kind of like going back to high school and seeing all your friends you grew up with.
Right.
It's kind of what it is. I mean, it's the people that we've been out in the trenches together for years, or even people that we really didn't know and get a chance to catch up and.
What do you miss? What do you miss mostly about I guess they would call it the '80s metal hair days?
Well, I think that if anything, radio was radio and MTV was MTV, and MTV actually played music and radio actually played new music as well. Radio's just it's just changed a lot, and again, you can be either bitter about it, or you can just know that this is just a changing face of technology and how life goes. And in other ways, we have ways through the internet that people can see what's going on. If they look into it, they can find it, and that's actually a positive in that way. So it's just really how you look at it.
In a lot of the big cities, the stations that aren't classic rock still play majority classic rock.
Yeah.
I do remember when I was in the car and the classic rock station played Aerosmith, and I was like, holy crap, when did my life become classic rock?
Yeah.
So you guys did the Monsters of Rock cruise.
Right.
Now, how was that experience?
I think the band was well received. We had a really good time. The boat wasn't rocking too much, so nobody got sick, and because that is something that does happen when you get into the rough seas on some boats. But
Yeah, I'm going this year.
yeah, it was great. It was good. It was a good time, and I think the fans had a good time, and again, I got to see the guys in Loudness, which I haven't seen in several years, and it was nice to see them, and the Winery Dogs played, which I thought they're amazing.
They're actually going again this year.
Yeah, and they were great.
So now, have you guys been invited back? Or
No, we haven't been invited back.
If you guys want us, we're available.
Right. Well, that's for them to step forward on it.
Now, something I read that I did not know recently, which is surprising to me. Back when Slaughter was on the second disc, Dana hurt his wrist really bad.
Oh yeah, it was after it. He was driving down. He had his bike fixed, and basically was driving it home, and this guy in a drywaller in a van hit him head on.
Wow.
And he actually flew over the van, and he broke his wrist, and he was bruised, and his ribs were hurt, and his wrist was literally snapped, and his fingers were snapped, and
Does it give him trouble still?
Dana's just not a complaining guy. He just kind of...
He was complaining to me earlier, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but he doesn't complain about it.
You better clip that out.
Yeah, he really, honestly, he didn't complain. He just kind of, when he was kind of rehabbing, it was hard for him. Mm-hmm. I know that was really hard. But, he did well. He's still out here doing it.
So now, Zoltan and Dave Marshall, and then Blondo and Dana wound up playing with Vince Neil. How did that ever come about?
Well, Dave was playing with Vince Neil in the early band, and then when he first came out.
Steve
And as far as
Stevens
exactly. And Steve Stevens was in the band, and Robbie Crane, and Vicky Fox, and then when Vince started doing some other stuff, that's when he ended up using Dana, Blando, and Zoltan.
Now, it's not firsthand; it's from you, but. Is this how his work with Vince came along?
That's part of it. Part of it is that I think Vince saw some of Dana's business savvy and just thought, hey, look, and Dana said, I can save you money here, and the next thing you know, he was spending a lot of time actually helping with keeping Vince's touring side together with Motley.
Right.
And obviously then he was doing the Vince Neil dates, which Dana was playing with them, and they did a record. Dana and the guys did a record with Vince, and then in the meantime, when all that was going on, I was writing songs and doing my thing, and I'll be releasing that sometime soon here in the future.
And Dana is a good businessman, because every
He's
time
great.
I stayed at a hotel, he cleared all the porn charges for me.
Did he? It's amazing. Yeah, and he sent the actresses up too, didn't he?
That was the maids. We didn't spend that.
Okay, all right.
I had that routine down. So, you're working on a new CD.
Yeah.
Now, did I hear a producer, and I'm forgetting the name?
Michael Wagner. Yeah, Michael Wagner.
David Snowden told me that this morning.
Yeah, he did Skid Row. He did Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, he's got over 100 million records underneath his belt. And what happened is I had my stuff done, and I went to Michael and I said, would you be willing to mix this? And he goes, let me listen to it. And I gave it to him, and he took one song and he goes, man, this is great. He really got into it.
Great.
So we did mix that and got that in the can, and now it's all done. Now I'm just going to try to figure out where I'm going to put it out and what I'm going to do with it. It's kind of like it's more about doing the art than it is of like throwing it out there and on a label that's not going to do it. And do it right. I might just put it out myself at this point. because it's kind of like it's just a really weird part of the industry. You know, there really aren't any record labels anymore.
I've noticed that since you're getting closer to it, that you've been picking up on the social media side.
Yeah, yeah.
Although the Slaughter website could use some work.
Well,
That's
yeah.
been under construction
Well,
for how long?
Well, the Slaughter USA.
Oh,
There's a slaughterusa.com
Mhm.
is the actual Slaughter site now, and I put that up last year.
Great.
So I've been trying to pull all that together for the band's sake, and that has all the Slaughter tour dates. So that's all up there. Yeah.
So now, when you do a show like this, we've seen little kids out there.
Mhm.
We see people sitting in their chairs with their wine with their grandkids.
Uh-huh.
Are you amazed, or did you think when you started that people knew the lyrics and would
you know
still
what? You
die
never
to hear
you
these
never even
songs?
think that when you're making music, you don't ever think about where it's going to go. I mean, it's the same thing with the stuff I've just written. It's more about you're putting your music out there to see, just put your music out there. You know, you make music for the love of music, not like, you know, how's the biggest paycheck, you know. You know, like you can look at the industry and realize it has shrunk on the side of sales, which is, you know, to Gene's comment of rock is dead. Well, the sales of it is in many ways, but the touring side of it for everybody is still, you know, if you've got that nostalgic or if you've got that thing, there's still a great market for it. I mean, we've increased our profits across this last year have increased even more so than the years
From
before.
what I've seen, Philly's never been a big rock town. I mean, it
Yeah,
was, but
yeah.
since then bands play the outskirts. They'll
Right.
go to Atlantic City or something like that.
Right.
And from what I hear from some of the guys who are, you know, our age that are into it,
Right.
I don't name any names, but
Yeah.
some of the clubs have been just such a pain in the ass. I mean,
Yeah.
I know
Well, we
someone,
don't do. We very, very rarely do clubs. I mean, it's just not. Clubs are more of a headache than it's even worth.
I know a band that's out there with a big name guitar player, and they went around every city and they go, look, it's not us. Here's a picture of the front door. Due to management, there's no show tonight. And,
Yeah.
I mean, they're in friggin' van, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's really what you want to see when you hit a city.
Yeah,
after 60 miles of riding, you know?
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's the hard part because you know fans will travel to get there, and then when
Right.
so that's another part of it with clubs that we don't like to do. We like to do casinos and fairs and things that we know will play, so that, you know, first of all, that we're not putting monies out to chase money, that we know that it's going to work, and that the fans, when they go to see it, that we're actually physically going to be there, and that's a big part of it. You don't want to, you know, disappoint people who do drive that way.
Correct.
Do it, you know.
So now, in closing, any words to our readers and your fans?
It's been a long time, hard and fast. It has been a long time. You know what? It's thanks for the years. Obviously, Alex, we appreciate all the years and the things that you've done for not only us, but for all the other acts, for all the other musicians of our genre. You've been
Mark,
supportive.
I got a tear.
You're supportive. No, that's the truth, man. You've been supportive to all these people. I mean, just like we were talking about with, you know, Anthony, you know, and other people. You put people in other bands, you know. That's a part of this whole thing that's really cool is, you know, you have the friendships that last a lifetime, and you know, that's a cool thing. So we'll take it all day long, and thanks for the years, and thanks for all the readers, and now those who watch the videos
right,
and the MP4s and listen to the MP3s, and even though it's degraded a little bit, we're still fucking there.
Oh, a video is so much cooler than reading it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, you know, the MP3s definitely squash the shit. I'm still not sold on the format, but it is what it is.
Come see it live.
Yeah, come see it live. Exactly.
Well, as always, 28 years.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
the
being
years.
my friend.
Well, thank you, Alex. I really appreciate that, man.
Thank you so much. And we are out.
Peace out.